Hello, it has been a while since I've made a video. I've been pretty busy, but on the Discord for Marble It Up, I've seen a few people ask or mention that just a basics level building tutorial for Marble It Up would be loads of help. And so I'm here to do that today. So to get started, you'll need Unity on your computer. You can just go on Google and search for Unity. It's free. Unity game engine. You'll need Marble It Up, obviously, and then you'll need the Marble It Up level creator kit. If you go on Marble It Up's Discord, you could find in pinned messages a link to the download for the level kit, or you could go when you launch the game on Steam, you would use Level Tester instead of Marble It Up. You'd use Level Tester in the bottom left. I'm not going to do it right now, but in the bottom left it will show you a link. It'll say like Level Kit. It'll be a link to download that. But let's get started right away. We're doing the basics today. I don't think we'll do many curves. We'll do all the basics, and then if we're gonna do anything with UVs, with like texturing, it'll be like ramps. Okay, so first of all, I'm in a scene already in Unity. When you make games in Unity, this is a Unity thing. Scenes are like levels of games. So you're gonna need to go to File and New Scene. I don't think I made any changes, but I'll save anyway. So you'll be in a blank slate here. Quick thing to mention before I move on without mentioning it. If you go to Window here and you go to Package Manager, what you should install for this. Hold on, it's loading a few more. It's gonna make a longer list in a moment. Oh, maybe not. It's done it to me before. So if you go to the Package Manager, you're going to want to install ProBuilder. You can just click on it. Oh, there it is. Where is it? Here it is. Okay. You're going to want ProBuilder. This is the most important thing that you need. It's for making all basic objects. You can do it in other means, but this is by far the easiest and quickest way to do it. Other ways you could do it is if you're good with like Blender, you could import shapes from Blender, but let's just use ProBuilder for the sake of the tutorial and the basics. And it's easy and it's quick. So you would click this and then it would say like install right here. For me it says up to date. There are no updates for it for me right now, but if there were updates I could update it here. And you'll also want Pro Grids. So ProBuilder will be a window, like Windows, for example. This is a Marble It Up. Here's the level kit window. I dragged my level kit window to here. I set my ProBuilder window here. This is what ProGrids looks like. I believe ProGrids also adds this. I can't recall if this came with Unity or not. I believe ProGrids also added this. And that's you won't need anything else for the tutorial. I have two or three other packages installed, but I'm not going to use them in this tutorial. So we're on this blank slate here. You're going to want to start with a new shape right away. We're going to do a cube. So when you first go into cube, it'll look like this. It'll look on the X, Y, and Z scale. It'll be 1, 1, 1. Notice I clicked that plus. I didn't just click new shape. If you want to create one floor tile, if you look in game, there's like floor tiles. You do a 4 by 1 by 4. The y-axis is height, and one high is like one trim, and trim is like what goes around the floor tiles in game. It's the white pieces. They're like if you look at the squares on top, they're like the size of one of these, 1 by 1 by 1. So then we'll click build and we can X this out. I like to always start at the center of the world. So if I click on this object, right? So I'm using object selection. I click this object. you can go to your inspector tab in Unity and you can view stuff such as position, rotation, scale, and then there's other components. You want to set that to the position to 0, 0, 0. That's good. This is your main camera and your lighting. You'll want to go into your Marble It Up level kit window, which is up here if you haven't moved it down here like me. You should be able to just drag it over. In the level kit window, click Set Up Lighting. That'll make it so it's easier to see while you're making levels. There won't be as many casted really dark shadows on the bottom of objects, because like light or sun, you could like imagine it as sun is like hitting the top of the object, and it makes it hard to see because of shadows on the bottom of an object. I'm just gonna, so this sun is not relevant to the light. This is pretending, I guess a good way to think of it is pretending if the sun is way up there, higher than you could ever move your level to, this is the direction that the light is hitting it. You can mess with some other stuff, but we're not going to do that. I haven't even really done that. I like to just select these, both of them. So I held control and I clicked both of them. Holding control and left click to select multiple things at once. I like to move them up just for now. I always come back to them later. I just leave them out of my way while I'm building the level. So this doesn't look like the tiles in game right now. So if you go to your Marble It Up folder, so when you get the level kit, there's a README. There's a README script in the kit. It will tell you how to set things up. Once things are set up, you'll have this Marble It Up folder and the window and everything. I'm gonna go to level materials, and this is where you can find like textures for floor, for if you're gonna make like hazards. So if you go to tiles, now you have to choose like your design. You can have a blank tile, a tile with a circle, a tile with a grid. A grid is like 4 squares. You can have a tile with a square, or if you're gonna use moving platform texture, this is only for moving platform. You could use it for something else, but it's intended by game for moving platform. It may not look as like official like Marble It Up themed if you use this for something else, which is okay. It's a custom level. You can let your creativity go wild. You don't have to follow the rules. So let's go, I think I'm gonna do square. Let's do something, let's do blue. So now I want to quick go over what these 4 selection items are, and these 2 are right here. I mainly just use these 2 up here. If you do this, it's to move something back and forth. If you do this, it's to rotate something. So I usually use the mover. Sometimes you'll use rotate. Then there's object selection. So if I click an object, it selects the whole object. There's vertex selection. So you can select individual vertices. Or if you hold control, of course, you can select multiple. Edge selection, it selects an edge. You can always select multiple edges. And then face selection, and of course you can select multiple faces. So let's make like a basic like start area. Since this is centered, we'll use this as the start area for the level. So what I'm gonna do is I'm using face selection, and I'm gonna expand the face out. I'm gonna like basically extrude it. Extruding is something you can separately do in this. If you want, if extrusion is more your build style, then you can use Control E and it'll extrude. You can also, so I'm going to use Control Z to undo that because I'm not going to be using that. But if you look, there's extrude faces here in ProBuilder window. If you hit the plus, you can adjust the distance that it extrudes something. So if I do half instead, It only extruded it by half versus if I did 1, it did a whole 1 unit, but we're gonna undo that. I'm gonna build like this. So with this face selected, I'm gonna drag out, but realize that it's not moving on any set like measurement. So I'm gonna undo. Whatever you set the snap value to in ProGrids, it's going to snap by if you hold control at the same time. So for example, if we set it to 0.25, now it's snapping by a smaller number. I'm moving and holding control. I like to usually set it at 1. You'll find yourself using 1.5 a lot, maybe 4.25 sometimes. Let's make our basic start area. Now to get a start pad, you have to go to your Marble It Up level kit window. You'll have, so there'll be core, gameplay, effects, and miscellaneous, and of course export. If you go into core, you cannot actually release, you can't like export a level to then later release it. You cannot export the level unless you use all 4 of these. It won't let you export. So you have to use a start pad and an end pad. There has to be boundaries and there has to be level timing. Let me quick show you what level timing is. So if you go to your hierarchy, this is everything that's in your world, right? Here's the cube. Here's the cube that we just made. There's the main camera up there. There's the lighting is up there. But what we just entered is level timing. So because I wanted to mention that it's here, because if you click off of it, you won't be able to click on it over here again. You'll have to go to here. You can always search for it if you have a bunch of objects. If you have too many objects here and you can't find it, you can search for it. Level timing, what it is here you enter, oh my bad, here you enter how you want to be credited. Note that in game, if the game like detects that there is the same name in the author box for 4 different levels, it will create a pack. So for me right now in Marble It Up, I have more than 4 levels released. If you download 4 or more of my levels, it'll group it into a pack. When you view your custom levels, it'll say Evil Taco's custom levels. If you have 3 or less, it'll just go into the workshop pack. So I make sure that I use the same author box every time. You have to get it exactly right and it'll put it into my pack. So then there's setting the diamond time, gold time, and silver time for your level. We usually get into that later after we've tested the level. I'll show you that later. Now we can add our start pad. Now when I put it into the world, it looks pretty centered and I could move it and try to get it to right where I want it to be, but it's not necessarily going to be. So what we do is we have it where we kind of want it. Then we look in our inspector and we round this to a close whole number, or maybe like a whole number and a half or a whole number and a quarter. So we'll do 2 and we'll do -6. I don't want it to be rotated, so I'm going to set this to 0. It doesn't matter too much, though if you're going to keep it rotated, I recommend you get rid of this 1. There's an error with rounding in Unity right now where you rotate something 90 degrees and it will like add this 0.0001 to it. So believe it or not, that's small of a measurement. If you are consistently using the same object, like duplicating objects, it will mess up the level. So I like to get rid of it. And currently, when you put the start pad in, it's preset to have a 90-degree turn on it. So then Unity then does its error. So obviously that doesn't look like the start pad. Why doesn't it look like the start pad? Well, it doesn't need to. It'll look like the start pad when you actually put it the level in game or in tester. So the purple represents where the center of the start pad will be. The arrow represents the direction you will be facing when you spawn into the level. I'm looking to make a really basic level here just for the video tutorial's sake. We'll just do a short and sweet kind of thing. So let's make our first ramp, and I'm gonna show you what happens if I take this face and I move it up to make a ramp. You look at the edge, you can see that the texture is starting to get misaligned and messed up. So let's undo, Control Z to undo. How do we fix that? Well, there's two ways. So the first one, we can go to the face selection. If we double click a face, then it should select all the faces on the object. Otherwise, if for some reason you really can't get that to work, just select all the faces. There's only 6. It would only suck if you're on an object with like 100 faces. With all of them selected, let's go to our ProBuilder window. Go to, at the top, UV editor, and we're going to do convert to manual. Converting to manual means the textures are already set here. So when I move this object, and I like reshape it, I guess you could say, the textures are set already and they're going to stay where they are. They're not going to try to stretch and fit to the new object, the new shape. The second way to do it is manually. After the texture has been messed up, you're going to select a face, choose one face at a time, and you'll see why this can get tedious. Let's take this edge, find where that is, here it is. Now we're going to just move it so that it aligns. You'll know it'll align because it'll be perfectly on a grid mark. If we go select the other face, you'll move this, and I am snapping to grid, so I'm holding control while I'm moving it. You'll see that. If we select one of these faces, you'll see that it's kind of slanted. So what we'll do is we'll take this edge, we'll move it down so that it's a rectangle again. Now you can see it's on the grid, and that looks better. But I'm not going to finish that. You see where that could get tedious. I'm going to move it back down. Let me show you what happens though, what the problem is with doing it the first way that I did it. So if we select them all and we convert to manual, the problem is now if I'm moving it this way, because I want to make it like 4 tiles wide, it's just stretching stuff out. Or if I go too high up, it's stretching it out. It doesn't look like it should. It doesn't give you a real read on size. So what you should do is, if you wanted it to be 4 tiles, before you convert to manual, move it to like about the size it's going to be, then convert to manual, and then move up, and now things look fine. Of course they've stretched a little bit, but that's just how it will be. There's no other way to texture it perfectly, and I really mean that. There is no other way. Let's quick go back. If you've already converted to manual and you've done some other step in the world, so you don't want to hit undo because you're going to have to undo your progress before you can undo converting to manual, you can just select all the faces or the faces that you want and convert to auto, and now they're back to the way they originally were. I think that'll be a good enough tutorial on UVs for just the basics. I will do curves in the future. So let's get a little bit of something going here. Let's say we're going to have the player jump. One thing you want to consider while testing is how high a player can jump and how high a player can super jump, or if they use a certain power up, how far is it going to speed boost them, how far can they go with a feather fall. You want to make sure you're covering all that when you're testing. When you're testing, just make sure you really thoroughly play through your level. It never hurts to first put your name in the author box, but then send someone the .level file so they can test the level and give you feedback. If you don't want them to reveal it, just make sure it's someone you can trust. If you think they're going to steal your level and publish it themselves, that's why you put your name in the author box. And then there's also always on the Discord, there's always the developers to talk to if something like that ever did happen, but I don't think anything like that has happened yet. So we're going to move this up a bit. A player can jump easily 1 trim high, right? This is a quarter of a tile high, which is 1 trim. Not so easily 2 trims high. They cannot jump higher than that. So we're going to keep it at 1 high. That's typical to official level type stuff. And then we're going to have them super jump. And I'll show you how we can get the super jump. Now, super jumping, let's do this. 1, 2, 3. Okay. They can typically... I'd say that's an easy jump. They can do that. What I'm going to do instead is I have my extrusion. I already showed you earlier. I have it set to 1 right now. I'm going to take this top face and I'm going to I'm going to do Control E to extrude, and I'll show you why I'll show you why I did that soon. But you can see that there's 2 separate faces here. I'll explain to you right now. I'm going to be using 2 separate textures, but if that doesn't make sense in your head yet, because you really are just learning everything now, I'll show you soon what it means. Okay, let's do... let's start working on that, and let's start working on some trim as well. So we're going to select this object again. We're going to do Control C and Control V for copy and paste. We're going to shrink this down to the size of what should be a trim, and I'm going to show you making some trim for levels. If you go to Assets, MIU, Level Materials, Trim. Now we have all this trim. There's different trims you can mess around with. I'm going to use this. This is just a classic 1x1 trim. You can copy and paste it over there. Now here's where I'm going to use, here, let's actually delete this. Here's where I'm going to use my UV editor, because again, if I do this, you can see it starts to mess stuff up. Oh, I'm doing Control X. Okay. Double click to select all faces, UV editor, convert to manual. Oh, my bad. Not full screen. We wanted to X that out. We can move that up. We don't want to forget trim back here. Move that. Let's get some trim all the way up here. Now I don't really want to put trim here. I don't like the way that would look. And it also may not look too official. It may be used in some levels, but for this sake, I'm going to make this a checker. Typically, you'll see checkers, checkerboard in MIU levels when you have to jump. leave it like that. Notice that I only wanted this part, this face of the cube to be checkerboard, so I selected only that face, and then I clicked and dragged the texture onto that face, the material. Let's go back to our level materials. Let's go to geometry and fills, and here you find a bunch of stone or a bunch of checkerboard too. Let's select these faces. Instead of just double clicking, I only selected those 5 faces because it would have also selected these faces on top, and I don't want those ones selected. We'll use this. This is a rock texture. If we go to our editor, I'm going to convert to manual because in order to make this look a little rockier, I'm going to stretch it down a little bit. I'm going to shrink the bottom a little bit. And this, what I'm showing you right now, is a method that I've started using. And I'm using edge selection, you can see. This is a method I've started using to make Marble It Up, to make like a shape in editor look more like Marble It Up styled rock. I'm going to bring one edge down a little bit. We don't want it to be super even. Bring one vertex down even further. And now, the final touch, I'm going to show you a new tool. I'm going to select all these edges. Okay, with these edges selected, we're going to scroll to the bottom and you'll see a bevel edge tool. I'm going to click the plus for more options. Let's set this to like 2. And that's a little too much, so undo. Let's do 0.5. That'll work. But I'm questioning why. I don't know why it's extruding these or beveling these corners. It has not done that in the past. Let me think about this. Maybe we can come back to that. Or we'll leave it for the sake of a basics tutorial. It doesn't look too bad anyhow. Yeah, I can come back to it. I don't know why. Maybe things have changed since I've last used that. I'm not gonna put a trim on this side for the sake of players not hitting, like, air quotes, hitting their head. But I am gonna use a checker texture, and this is why I split the faces earlier. I think I'm gonna use a trim here. There we go. Remember that I'm holding control so that my stuff snaps to grid. And now we want a super jump. So what you do is you go to the MIU level kit window. You can minimize that. Go to gameplay and you'll see options such as gems, power-ups, the trophy, the bumper, etc. Checkpoints are important. We'll use super jump here. Get it close to where you want it, and then round on the decimal places. I usually like to, so right now when I put it in, it's like basically like touching the ground. I like to add a quarter of space from the ground to the power up because the power up bobs up and down. So when you put it in game, it'll go like through the floor and it doesn't look very nice. And something like a super jump, this is a point where you're going to want to test your level because you'd rather not eyeball it. You should test it, make sure it looks okay. So in order to export, you are going to need to place an end pad, so we can just place it randomly to the side for now, and you are going to need to place level bounds. Something I like to do with level bounds, I don't know if ever, and many people else do this, I take the scale and I put it as 1.2 for each axis. It just makes it a little larger on the sides and especially on the top, because sometimes when you put stuff such as power-ups and other mechanics into your level, it's easy to jump high out the top, or even if you're like in a feather fall and you're trying to get back to the board but you accidentally hit the out of bounds first, like your level restarts and it's just annoying gameplay wise. If you ever so once you add more to the level, you'll hit recalculate bounds. It's really nice. It does it for you. It'll keep your scale setting too. So let's try this for now. Oh, we gotta name it. Let's do, what should I call it? Let's call it Boomerang, because I'm thinking of a certain thing to do. Boomerang. Is that how you spell Boomerang? Is that how you spell Boomerang? Let's see. I think so. Spell Boomerang.
Boomerang is spelled B-O-O-M-E-R-A-N-G.
B-O-O-M-E-R-A-N-G. Okay. I don't think I've spelled that for a while. Doesn't look right. We can save it, recalculate, export. So now we go to Steam. We launch the level tester. And when you exported, it should have exported to like this assets area right here. So once you're in level tester, you would find that file, if it'll load. Yeah, you'll find that file and load. I'm already there because I've used this like folder before in level tester. So we'll select Boomerang and we'll play it. So I don't know why, but apparently we must not be able to use that rock texture right now. If we could use it right now, it wouldn't be pink like that. If it's pink like that, that means the texture isn't actually in the game for some reason. So then I'm testing to make sure the super jump's a good height. I think it's a good height. Something to keep in mind in tester is things will look slightly different in actual game than within tester. Tester doesn't have like all the rendering components, other technical stuff. I'm not even completely sure about all of it, but all the technical stuff isn't in the background for tester like it is compared for the official game. So since this isn't usable, let's see, what did I use? Fill 1E, medium 1. Okay, let's go back. Raw materials, geometry, fills. We'll use this one then. And then we'll keep going with the level. I'll show you how to add, what do you want to add? Maybe some bumpers. I guess we can do some bumpers. Make sure that's every now and then make sure like your pieces, your objects are positioned correctly. Sometimes if there's a rounding error, things will get off. So for bumpers, we'll go to MIU level kit. You saw it before when I was in gameplay. bumper. When you're selecting this right now, you can move it around, but if you deselect it and then select it again, you'll be moving like part of it, you'll notice. So to fix that, in your hierarchy, you'll see when you click this, like I'm clicking just the cap right now. You want to click the entire bumper. Now it's okay to move. Let's round that. Let's do something like, let's make this a longer path. Oh, hold on, I selected something. I selected an inside face accidentally, so I was stretching the trim weird. We'll do that. Let's do another bumper. Set that as 2. Now since I still have the whole bumper selected, I can do Control C and V for copy and paste. And we'll do something like this, I guess. Just something really simple for now because we're just doing the basics. That's pretty simple. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right. We'll move on to our next thing. What should we do? Maybe at this point we'll have a checkpoint. Let's do a checkpoint. Actually, not yet. That's not nearly far enough along. We'll bring them into a actually I want a ramped piece. So you can see I'm reusing parts from earlier in the level so I don't have to recreate them again. And at this point, maybe I want to use a checkpoint because I'm actually going to get into a slightly more difficult part of the level now. So here's how we do checkpoints. First of all, let's round where we want it to be. It should be like right here. Okay. Where the blue arrow faces, the direction the blue arrow faces, because they don't have a reference now, I believe is the way you'll face. If not, it's the opposite. So we'll test that. For size, you're going to want to scale these. Let's scale them a little more. Let's try 12, 12. Now, anywhere that they touch inside this box will be like checkpoint area. Let's say I wanted to be a little taller. Now what you would want to do is set the number above the height to half of that number right here, so 2. Let's do this. Actually, okay. I'm going to show you guys how to use some surfaces. For example, ice. So we go to MIU, level materials, and then we do surfaces. Here we have lava, gravity, and ice. We'll do ice. Let's do one. For reference, I'm gonna put this here. Because that's how far out I want to go with it. So we're gonna make it so that they have to come around this corner. And this is starting to be why I'm calling it Boomerang, because they're gonna make a pattern like this to get to the finish. It's like there and back, but like slightly to the side. If you're wondering what lava is, it actually wasn't used in any of the official game levels. It basically just blows your marble up on contact. You may have seen it in one or two workshop levels by, I know one for sure by Dame, if you have seen Dame on the Discord. He made a rising lava level. So what you're gonna want now, reason I also used ice is because I wanted to use it as an opportunity to show you how to use signs. So if we go to MIU level kit, we go to effects, signs. Let's bring this up a little bit. We're going to have a turn to the left turn. You want the blue to face away. So like right now I'm looking at the sign head on. This is the way I want to look at it. The blue faces away. Let's round it. Let's put it like 2 off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 sounds about right. Yeah, let's do 4. Let's try it and see what it looks like. And then we're gonna also want an icy sign because that's what we're doing. It's ice. 3, 14. There we go. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Move this a little bit over. The signs are bigger than they appear here. A lot bigger. We'll have them collect a gem to make sure that they go over here and that they don't cheat past it. I want this to be directly, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So if we count 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like right here. If we go to gameplay, gem, put that here. Now this is another thing. Basically all the objects that you're selecting here, it's like the bumper. If you click off of it, you can't just click back on and move it. It's only going to move a part of it. If I click off of the gem right now and I try to move it, it looks like it's moving, but I'm actually just moving its visual. So we don't want to do that. I'm going to set the scale to half, the snap grid, because oh, never mind, that's centered. I'm gonna move it up half. That looks good. Yeah, that looks good. We'll have that gem there. I think I want to show you... I want to show you some moving platforms for sure. One of the things you can do is if you look through, if you go to MIU and prefabs, you'll find like some moving platform stuff. You'll find like bashers too. So like on levels you see them go back and forth. Let me just show you completely how to make your own moving pieces. So first of all, let's make somewhere that they have to go to. So let's put this 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a tile. a tile of separate space. Let's move it up 12 units. So 13 plus 12 is 25. Maybe not so far. Let's see, 13 plus 8. Let's say, let's do 21. Okay, let's do that. I'm gonna do another piece of rock. So if I select this over here, oh wait, no, that's not gonna work. Oh wait, I didn't do manual. Let's just do the whole thing to manual because I'm not gonna move this up here. Convert to manual. Let's go to the materials, MIU, level materials, geometry, fills. Let's fill that. Let's do large rock. Okay. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 3. Let's move that. No, let's move this side up and in. Let's move this side down. Down. Oh, nope. This one down and in. That's pretty good. Oh, this might work if I beveled it now. Oh, no, maybe not. I don't know why it's not doing that anymore. I'll have to figure that out. Let's take this. Oh, actually, we don't want an edge here. I'll show you why. We're gonna put our checkerboard there again. We gotta get our trim up to the top here. Cool. And then we're going to make our own moving platform, like I said. So what we're going to do for a moving platform, we're going to first make it kind of obvious. We're going to raise it a little bit, and now we're going to give it some edges. Something you can't find in the MIU level kit is the glowing platform texture in the material. So I made my own. If you just duplicate one of the materials from MIU level kit, and then you rename it, let's see, in-game blue platforms wait till they're touched. Okay, so blue platforms don't move unless you touch it. So we're gonna select these. We're gonna make it this texture. This texture I named Triggered Elevator Edge Lights 02, and that will give you the lights that you're looking for. We're gonna go back to the level materials, and we're gonna go to tiles and moving platforms now. Not all of these will work. You'll see which ones work when you test them. We'll use that because I think this one works. Here's how you get a piece to move. First of all, you have to make sure this box isn't checked, the static box. Second of all, you're going to add a component. You're going to add elevator. Here it appears, elevator mover. Then you're going to add another one, mesh. It'll appear mesh collider. Now with your elevator mover script, there's delta and delta rotation. Delta is moving position. Delta rotation is moving the rotation. So right now I want this to move up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spaces. If it's not a short enough distance to count, what you can do is move it from this position. Make sure you know this position, right? It's at 14 on the like on the y-axis. Up here, now it's at 21. 21 minus 14 is 7, so we know it needs to move up 7 spaces. So what I'm going to do is in elevator, in the delta, I'm going to set it as 7. Pause time. So, well, first of all, this is an elevator that we only want to move if it is touched. So I'm going to check wait for touched. If I don't check that, it'll move back and forth on its own. Then we're also going to check, set this time. So I'm going to do 0.5, which means now when the elevator is touched, it will wait half a second, and then it'll move up 7 spaces in this amount of time. I'm going to set this to 1.5. It doesn't need that long to move up. Honestly, it can be 1. It'll move up in 1. And then it's going to wait 0.5 seconds and it's going to return back to its normal position. Realize if you wanted it to start up here, you would have it start here. To get down to this point, I would have it move -7 spaces because it's going the other direction. Same with if I wanted it to move positive, right, where the arrow points is positive, it could move this way, but if I wanted it to move the other way, I would have it move negative spaces. And the big thing is at the position you want it, just like move it to the position you want it to go to, and just find the difference in its position, in its X, Y, and Z position numbers. That's like doing the math to figure out the numbers you need to put into the delta of the elevator. That should be all we need. There's other things you can play around with, such as bobbing, so it like bobs up and down. We're not going to play with that. Let's just test what it's doing right now. So I save, of course, we want to frequently save. Let's recalculate level bounds and export. Let's see. So we got our bumpers here. We can jump on them if you want and test them out. We get to our checkpoint. We want to fall off the level real quick because we want to test if it's going to spawn us. So don't touch anything. If it's going to spawn us facing the correct direction, and it does. Otherwise, you would know how much you need to rotate it. I'm looking at these signs. I think I'm going to move them up about 2 units. Definitely the left turn sign. Here we've got our ice. And here we've got our platform. Now if the edge lights here, if they were facing vertically up and down, what you would do is you go in your UV editor, you would convert to auto, right? You'd have these on auto, and you'd have to rotate the texture 90 degrees, right? So that they wouldn't be facing vertical anymore. They would be facing horizontally. If that doesn't make sense and someone comes across a problem with it, post a screenshot to the Discord. We'll all help you out. It's not exactly easy to explain, and I'm also trying to keep the tutorial a little briefer. So let's test if it moves. Okay, so it moves really quickly. I'm gonna quick set the timer up a little bit. We're gonna move it to. We're gonna make sure that it takes 2 seconds to move up and down. Let's quick test that. Super jump, bumpers, ice. Oh, I should have moved the sign while I was there. I think that's better. Let's move this sign up 2. Yeah, that looks like a lot. Let's move it up 1 compared to the other. Like just 1 space compared to the other. 2 total. Let's see what this looks like. That looks better. I think it looks better. This moves up. I think we can set that to 1.5. It's a bit slow now. Let's see. So much to look at here. We'll test that next time. Let's keep building for now. What else do I want to show you? Let me quick look through everything. I'm still going to show you some prefabs for sure. Let me look through this. I'm not sure what else I want to show you. Prefabs. Okay, well, we'll kind of bring it straight to the finish now at this point. We'll keep it short. And I know, it's been like an hour probably, but, you know, we'll not make it much longer, is what I mean. I'm going to reuse this piece. This time I'm going to angle it upwards, I think. I don't want that checker texture here, so so I should show you what I just did. When I have an object selected, I can scroll down and see what materials are on it, so then I can like use that as a shortcut to drag it over. Let's convert this to manual. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That looks like a big enough slope. And then we'll just have it super speed to the finish, I think. Actually, let's not do that. Let's do this. This will be easier. Let's convert this back to auto just for a moment. Let's see. Now, level materials, trim. And we don't want it just on that face. We want it on the whole thing. There we go. So when I converted it back to auto, it messed up right here. You can see that's a quick fix. You can quick do that. I'm actually glad it gave me a chance to show. So on the end here, if you select this vertex, so I'm looking at the other end right now. You select this vertex. Maybe not. Let's see. Okay, well it is this one. So you're better off selecting stuff down here. I didn't want to make it complicated, but it's gonna have to be. We're gonna snap to grid. You see we put it back. If we select this face, we can follow it all the way to its edge. Oh, wrong face. This face. Take this vertex. Here we go. Make sure the top is still aligned. It looks like it is. Make sure the bottom is aligned. And what we should be able to know is that this side isn't aligned because the other similar side was not. So now we can go to the end of this one. the other end of this one. Oh, when I'm moving back and forth, I'm using my scroll wheel to drag. You can X that out. And I think I'll even have the finish end a little early. Oops. Okay, I copied and pasted. Actually, no, we won't. We'll have it go all the way. Oh, and apparently there's this right here. Let's quick make this better. There we go. Not that we'll be able to see that face. You won't be able to see that face because you can see now we blocked it. We'll make a little bit of a jump for it. Maybe so this face will be a little longer. Like, oh, oops. We'll bring that out. Yep. And then maybe we'll do like that looks good. We'll bring this out like 1, 2, here, let's do this. Set this to 4, we'll bring it out 1 tile, 2 tile, 3 tile, 4 tile, 5 tile, down 2 tiles. Down 1 tile looks good. Well, let's go down 2. Okay, and then we'll do we'll set this back. We'll go back to trim. Do this. We'll bring this trim over. We'll do this. Oops, one too far. This will be where our end will be, so we can take the other end, or where we had the end temporarily, delete it, go back to our level kit window, do end pad, do like 2, there we go. Set our super speed down. Right here. Like, oh, 97 was what it was. That looks pretty centered. I like to put this up a little bit. We'll make sure that they collect their gem. Yeah, we'll make sure they collect their gem. Move this up like 0.5. So that they don't skip the level in any ways. What else? I think to make this look a little even, what we'll do is we'll, so I'm selecting this piece over here so I can grab that rock easily. To make it look a little more even, we're gonna add some rock texture over here. Convert that to manual. stretch this down a little bit, stretch that up a little bit. Maybe even a little bit more. That looks better. I think this needs to go in a little bit. We gotta play around with it and just look at it to say like what looks natural. This needs to go out then if that's coming in. And it needs to go up. That's not bad. Let's add a rock to the bottom of this. We'll do convert to manual. Oh, crap, not yet. We gotta stretch it out first. Now let's convert to, wait, that's too far. Now let's convert to manual. Do that, that, this one. Let's bring it in a little more. We'll bring this edge a little down this time. This one. That looks a little more natural. We'll have 2 more rocks here. One underneath the start pad. Oh wait, my bad. What am I thinking? I'm trying to go too fast at this point. We'll have that. Bring that up a little, bring that in a little. Okay, we'll have that rock, and then last but not least, I'm gonna have rock under the ice. And the reason I'm choosing to put it where I do is if I were to zoom out from a distance, right, it looks kind of even now, right? It's not like the rocks are densely part of one level compared to the other. Let's do this. I wish I could bevel the edges. It really put the touch on it that I'm looking for. Okay. Let's test the level how it is. So, you know, save, recalculate bounds, and export. Ooh, I jumped in. Super jumped at the same time. I think that's pretty good. That felt pretty good. There's not too much to test here. Something we still need to do is choose our sky. So if you downloaded the level kit, what should have came, something that comes with it is an image like this. It'll tell you what number goes with which sky. I think for this level, sky 30 would work. I'm going to try sky 30. This is how you change the sky. You go to marble it up, internal resources, and now you'll only have one of these. So what you do with that is you take it, you do Control D for duplicate, then you right click, rename, and the number that you want. I haven't actually used 30 yet, I'm surprised. And then you just drag it. You saw that I just dragged it into the sky. Another thing we still need to do is adjust the camera. The camera is the preview that you will get of the level, like in the level selection screen. So I think I'm gonna go from this angle, and then go up. Then you're gonna use your rotate tool as well. I'm gonna do this. I think that looks pretty good. You can kind of see it right here. You'll see it even better when you go in game. When you go in tester, you calculate export. Now let's look. So we need a little bit more this direction. Maybe. Maybe we need to get it a little lower. No, maybe just a little further back. Let's try this. I think that is a much better view. Let me also show you something. If you go to the Discord and we go to pinned messages, you will find pinned by Dave. Sometimes his name will be Dame. You can click on this, click the link. What you will find is a list of items that you can't find in the level kit. I'm going to use one of these just for visual effect. Square tunnels, vertico _ spiral square mapped. So that is, if you go into the level vertigo in the official game, you'll see this giant blue tunnel like engulfing the level. I'll show you. Vertigo. So I'm going to copy this real quick so I don't have to remember it. To use this now, we go to our hierarchy and we create an empty child. Now here in the inspector we can see its name. We name it that. Now it's going to be used, but the thing about this object is that it's going to be really, really small. If I were to test it right now, you would see it's really small. So I'm telling you from experience. So we got to scale it up. Let's do like 1,000. But that also means we have to offset it a bunch. So if I offset this, let's think. If I'm scaling it to 1,000, you would think that the center of it is at 500. So I'm going to scale this to 500, or I'm going to move it to, oh, that's the rotation. We're actually going to rotate it too. Rotate it 45 degrees. Actually, let's just go full. No, we'll do 45 for the sake of where to put it. Then I'm going to put it at 500, right? And then we want to move it over this direction, 500. That you think that would be right, but I think I'll be surprised and find out that it's not. Maybe that didn't even export. So for the sake of the tutorial, here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to delete that. Since I don't want to play around with it for another 30 minutes. I'm going to go into one of my other scenes where I've used it, and let's see, like, let's see where I put it. Scaries. Save. Make sure you save before you go. So I used it right here. Let's copy. Copy. Let's go back into my other scene. Now let's paste it. Let's see. So I had it scaled 100, 100, 100, and I set it off by about 1,000. And that should be good. Yeah, that's a cool effect. Oh, so every now and then, tester freezes. You'll see my marble is freezing, so you can just exit out and go back in, and it'll be fine. Is it loading? Yeah, play. Let's take a look at how we like it. I think that's super cool. I could change to the red one, but I think I'm liking it how it is. Yeah, I like it how it is. Okay, so another thing I'm going to quick do is I'm going to quick test it for time and see how, if I'm going fast, how fast of a time I can get. Now let's rewind. Now let's rewind again. Let's rewind a bunch. Okay, here we go. So, I think a good diamond time is like 19 seconds, considering I don't think that would have even been my best if I were to keep trying. So we go back to our level timing. Now we're going to set the diamond to 19. Now we're just going to think if someone was playing through it casually and slowly, maybe they'd get like 32. Let's try it. Let's just play it casually. So this is pretty casual play. Casual play might be not jumping on the ice at all. Maybe once. Oh crap, hold on, I'm gonna missed. And then, okay, so I think we could even set that a bit lower. Let's do like, this is where you also might have someone test it and ask them what they think. Let's do like 28. And then silver time, I always like to set that kind of high. That's like if players are playing a level first time, maybe if they're new to the game and they're messing up, stuff like that. Another thing that I should add is a MTA. I'll show you what an MTA is. It's like a tunnel effect. We'll use one of their prefabs for the sake of the tutorial. We'll go to FX and tunnel animators, and we'll use this square one. If I click respawn on it, you can see that it's like this tunnel right now. So first of all, I'm going to want it to be down. Second of all, let's round these numbers because these are going to bother me. Now, when you go to its scale, let's set it to like 1, 1, 1. Let's actually set X. So RG, okay, I think this. Oh no. It's gotta be this. No? Oh, okay, I know what I'm doing. We're gonna set the cycle time. So cycle time is like time before like one of these. So if I set like one of these, you'll see. So one of these is gonna take 5 seconds to move. And then it's gonna reset. So we want the cycle time to be like 2. Oh, so now it's moving faster. So what I can do is set the scale. What did that do? Oh, and moved it the wrong way. Let's try it this way. Let's actually try this. Let's spawn. Let's see. Let's do like. Let's stop it for a second because I'm gonna need to move it over here. I'm actually gonna make an effect for the platform. Let's expand it this way. 3. Maybe a little more than 3. Let's try it using its size. Wait, where is it? No, not that. Scale factor 3. Yeah, that's getting okay. We want like, oh no. We want this to be bigger. So if we set this to like 9, we can start to see it get like thicker. Let's do like 30. Let's set this to a little larger than 3.5. Okay, you can see that on both edges now. So let's set this a little larger than, that's too much larger, 1.2. Okay. We're gonna move this down a bit so that it's just under the platform. We're gonna add, we're gonna spawn 3 of them. 3 is too much. We're gonna spawn 2 of them. Maybe we're gonna move a little further. Oh no, that's way too far. That's a good distance, I think. We're gonna choose a color. I'm gonna make it like purple. Yeah, let's try purple. That would be a good contrast for purple and blue is like a good contrast for a entirely blue level. If I wanted to add another color in the middle, I could do like, I just click, you saw I just clicked, and then I can click that color, adjust it. They'll look, these will look way different in game. I'm gonna adjust this scale a little bit. What I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna click this, and then I'm gonna hold Control after I start clicking, drag it down a little. Now what it's doing is it's shrinking as it's going. You can kind of see that. I like that effect. What I want to do with this is I want it to follow the platform. So I'm going to show you how to parent stuff. First of all, it's not square tunnel red anymore. It's we'll call it platform bottom effect. And so what I'll do is I'll click and I'll drag it. Where's my platform though? We have it named as cube right now. We'll name this platform so I can find it easy. We'll click and we'll drag this onto platform. Now you can see it's like a drop down under platform. That means it's parented. Other things you can parent to platforms are game objects. Game objects are in the MIU level kit. If you go to gameplay, so it's gems, power-ups, time travels, trophies. I don't recommend you do it with bumpers. I haven't tried it with checkpoints or tutorials. I don't recommend it with bumper because the collision doesn't always follow the bumper. So, like, the bumper is somewhere else than it looks like. But these for sure, the power-ups, the gem, the time travel, and the trophy can be parented to moving pieces, which means it'll move along with it. Let's save. Recalculate, export. Let's see. Let's go check out that effect. And we're freezing. Let's go back in. I'm liking the looks of the effect. We're going to make sure that it follows the platform once the platform starts moving. It sure does. Alright, I think I have something I want to edit real quick. I'm going to take this gem, and remember I can't just click it and move it. I have to grab it here, grab the entire thing, not just the visual. I think I'm going to move it a little bit this way so players don't have to go so far out of their way to get to it. That's good. I like it there. We'll test that real quick. And I also got that 19-second diamond time. I wasn't even trying that quickly, so that's pretty good. I know it's quite plausible. The last thing that I'm thinking I have to do is add a few visuals and add a trophy. I'm gonna quick hide the trophy. Now, usually, if you've played my levels, you've seen me before go completely out of my way to hide a trophy. This one I was thinking more of a simple power-up trick. Since I made the rock like this direction, I was gonna put the trophy down here. So if I go to gameplay, trophy's in there. Oh, I went farther out than I wanted it to. So it's going to be if you can, whether or not you're able to use your power-ups to your advantage to get to it, is what it's going to come down to. It's going to be kind of buried under the rock, and I'll show you how I plan on the players getting to it. First of all, I'm going to align it to a tile a little bit so that players have like a reference to align themselves. And I want it to be like almost the center. If this was still a 3x3 tile, I want it to be almost centered. Okay. Now there's also multiple angles to come at it. We're gonna recalculate and export. Now, I don't think they're going to be using a super jump to get to it because they won't be able to bring the super jump with them. Thinking instead, they're going to have to use their like intuition to realize, go grab the super speed, bring it back. It's aligned with this. And I'll use rewind to see if it's possible. It is possible. Let's see. I just want to see that. Okay, cool. Alright, now we know it's possible. I have a few visuals I want to show you. I'll show you clouds. Let's see clouds. MIU level material. No, wait. Prefabs, effects, clouds. What you do with clouds is you won't be able to see them like in the editor, so you kind of like go float off like where you, like put yourself where you want the cloud to be. So I'll put one like back here. Drag it in, leave it be. Try to utilize like different types of clouds so they don't all look the same. Maybe even rotate them if you want. You don't want to bury your level in clouds. You want it to be an even enough distribution. We'll put one over here. We'll put a couple down low. I'm feeling like one more kind of high up. This one kind of close to the level. Feeling like one kind of back so that I can see it while I'm headed towards the finish. Oh, my bad. I dragged it towards the rock, so it's over there now. And one so that I can kind of see it while I'm headed up this ramp. Alright, let's see what it looks like in game. If we export. Okay, so I'll tell you right away what I'm feeling is these three in a row don't look natural. I'm probably going to delete that center one. There needs I like that open sky view over here. We need something, I don't know, I'm feeling like I might need one in the middle over here. We need one definitely down here, so maybe I'll just, okay, I'm going to show you. I'm going to drag this one. This one will go down. Feeling like maybe a couple way off in the distance is what we need. Let's try that. This already looks much better in my opinion. I think one way off up there couldn't hurt. Yeah, that's way too empty over there though. We got that one way over there. Kinda like it though. Okay, so just one more. I'm gonna put it up here. Maybe even further out. one needs to come in just a tad. Then we'll lower it so it's not so close to that other one. We'll check that. Oh, maybe that's way too far. Let's see. What did I just put? I just put down that one, right? No? Maybe not. Maybe I just put down... Oh, I did. Okay. Way out here. This one needs to come in quite a bit. Okay, that should be better. That's much better. I think I'm liking how this looks. And I'm gonna add one more final visual, and I think we'll be good. I was gonna add some rock. So I'm going to use prefab rocks for the tutorial's sake so I can show you more prefabs. So again, MIU prefabs. You'll see them here. Does it belong here is the question. I don't like that because it's kind of blocking where I had people, where like I was jumping before. We'll move one up here. We're going to rotate this a bit, even a bit this way. Maybe not so far that way. Not so much on the track. A little flatter to the edge there. I think that's good. We'll have one back here on the corner. We'll kind of float it in here. That's good. Flip one off the edge. Here. We'll even scale this down a little bit, 0.7. We'll move this closer to the corner so it looks a little bit more natural. Actually, we're not going to have one there, but we are going to float one over here. I think I'll float one more over here. And a final one kind of off this corner here. And I think that'll be it. Then I'll show you publishing a level. So we'll do our final recalculate export, and then we'll do a final save. This should be it. Okay, like that. Move up. This rock looks okay. So does that one. I'm thinking the only thing is moving down this rock a tiny bit, moving it in a tiny bit also, and then rotating it so that it faces us a little more. And then actually scaling it up a bit. File save, recalculate export. And that'll be it. Yeah, I like the way it looks now. All right. Okay. So, publishing a level. We've tested it out. We made sure the times were possible. We've got our author name. We've finished the actual level and its visuals. Maybe the other thing you would do is have somebody test it. But I'm ready to upload this. So what you do is you click upload. Then you do prepare upload. It'll give you this workshop item ID. I like to take a picture of mine personally. You don't have to. There's a different way to find the ID number, but if you ever have to update the ID number, then it's easy to have the ID, like the number. It's easy to, I think I said if you have to update the ID number. I meant if you have to update the level, it's nice to have the number on hand because that's what you'll need to update it. You'll select a category. I'd say this is a race. Then we upload. Uploading content, uploading preview image. Maybe I could have rotated the camera a little bit but no, the level select stuff will be here anyway. Okay, success. Item uploaded to the Steam Workshop. So we can get out of this, out of tester. Let's go to Steam. If I go to Steam, we go to Profile. We go to Workshop Submissions. You'll see it here now. We can add it. What you can do, if you click on it, you can edit the title and description. You can add images or videos, add contributors, edit links, etc. But let's go in-game real quick. Mine. We'll see Boomerang. Let's play it. Now we got the music going. Let's reset. Cool. All right. And that'll do it. So leave your comments. I'd like to know in future tutorials what you guys want to see. I plan on doing like curves in the future, specifically how to do the textures on them, the UVs. Let me know what you want to see. I gotta go edit this video. I'll see you next time.